What's up, you guys? I'm Shynice, owner of AppetiteForChic.com. Will be available on Juneteenth. That's right, June 19th, 2025. I am currently working on my website and it will be available. I make crystal wrap, ancient Egyptian style, wired, beaded, bracelets. I make earrings, rings, necklaces, unisex jewelry for men and women. But today we are going to get into these clear quartz bracelets that I use wire to make. They come in copper, silver, and gold, just like it's pictured here. And if you want to see more, get into it. All right, so what we're going to be using is different wire sizes, 16 gauge, and we're also going to be using 20 gauge for the copper. I did use 26 gauge. You're going to use your flat nose pliers, which are the green ones. They do have a cutting piece in it. And the round nose pliers, which are the pink ones, you're going to use clear quartz. And you're going to grab your 16 gauge and you're going to take the 20 gauge and you're going to wrap the 20 gauge wire around the 16 gauge. And of course, we're using gold first. So you're going to unravel that and you're going to keep doing it until the ancestors say stop. Once the ancestors say stop, that's when you use your flat nose pliers and you cut it off and you take the 20 gauge wire, you wrap around the 16 gauge, and you just see me right here pinching it in a little bit closer because I don't like gaps. So I'm just wrapping it around, and I like doing it that way because this style in particular, it just looks better to me. I like how when I double wrap it, the actual look and design of it, it makes it stand out. It gives it a little razzle dazzle, and we love razzle dazzle. So in the meantime, in between time, I'm just going to continue to do that. And while you see me raveling that around, we're going to just talk. I'm going to give y'all a quick story time of why and how I got into making jewelry and what I plan on doing with it next. So I got into jewelry when I was in college. It was around 2010, 2011. I was a senior in college, and I went to this arts and crafts store called AC Moore that's in Raleigh, North Carolina. It used to be, and I think it closed during 2020. But I went with my friend Tia. She did hair, and she also knew how to crochet. So she was crocheting blankets, socks, little beanie hats and bucket hats and things of that nature in yarn style. So she was going to get some yarn. And me personally, I'm creative myself, so I know how to draw. I went to the arts and crafts section to get some sketch pencils, look at the sketch pads, the pens, the good drawing pens, and also some color pencils. But I got detoured while in the arts and crafts store. I saw the beaded section. When I tell y'all, I was like a kid in a candy store. During that time frame, YouTube was brand new. So right then and there, I actually went to YouTube to see what I actually needed to make jewelry. So I wrote down the products that I need, didn't know anything about making jewelry, and I started getting the products that I needed to make beaded bracelets. Like in my mind, I was going to make some beaded bracelet just from what I seen. Like I was in such a creative mode. So without knowing anything about making jewelry, I just bought the beads. I bought the pliers, some just like you see here, flat nose pliers, cutting pliers, and round nose pliers. I bought the string that you use to, the stretchy string that you use to make stretchy beaded bracelets. And I went to YouTube University. I learned how to make beaded jewelry. And from there, that's when my jewelry making process just started. And I was in my dorm room one day making jewelry, and my roommate's friend, she came in the room, and I was making some earrings. She instantly fell in love with the earrings, so she wanted to buy them. She asked me how much they was on the spot. I told her $20. Of course, I didn't know my worth at the time, so $20, that was just the price that came to the top of my head. And of course, I was underselling myself, but she said done. And that was my first time selling jewelry. They were some earrings. They were wooden. They were beaded. and they had this like long wooden piece that was like a tan color, and that had a teardrop on it, and they were so cute, guys. I sold those to her, and even back then, my major was business, but I thought of myself as a customer. When she hit me up, she told me she liked my earrings. However, they broke, and of course, I wanted to stand behind my business and treat my customers with a sense of value. So I instantly told her that she could send them back, send the earrings back. I'll remake them for her, and she'll have a brand new, sturdier pair of earrings. So, of course, my first pair, they broke, and I just treated it as if my business had insurance and remade it like for her as she sent the package back, which I loved, by the way. And she did, and I remade the earrings, and she just had rave reviews about it. Back then, I didn't have a website, none of that. I was just selling out of my dorm room or selling out of my book bag at the time in college. So that's my first pair of earrings. That's the story I have. And now I've been making jewelry for so long. It's 2025, and I want to basically create my own website, which I am working on right now, you guys. So make sure you stay tuned. Appetite for Chic is coming soon, which is an acronym, creating honest images of color, or creating honest images impacting color, which is chic, an acronym, which means fashion in French. And right here, you see me cutting the clear quartz crystal. I'm cutting through the actual string, and the way the string is, you can see that this clear quartz actually has a hole in it, which I'm showing you guys right here. It's going to show the hole, and there it is right there. So with that being said, it actually makes it easier to wire wrap this, because you can just put the wire through the actual hole. So you get your 20 gauge, and that's what I'm going to do here. Take the 20 gauge and wrap it around what I actually did. So again, I unravel it until the ancestors say stop, and I cut it. Boom. And then I'm going to stick the 20 gauge through the clear quartz, and that's how I'm going to attach it. So I pretty much made two of those 16 gauge, wrapped the 20 gauge around it, did that twice. That's going to be what I refer to as the base of the bracelet, the part that's going to go on the wrist. And then in order to put the clear quartz up there, I take that 20 gauge wire and I wrap it around at least 3 times. And then I do the other side the same way, wrap it around at least 3 times. Make sure it's kind of tight so it can look neater and also stay better. So, and what I'm going to do is take the excess and just first clamp in and make it look more defined. Cut that excess off with the flat nose cutting pliers. Now you can definitely get you some cutting pliers for this, but my flat nose pliers has the cutting piece on the inside, which works perfectly. I'm just pinching that in so it can look more seamless and neat. And then what I'm going to do is just like take the flat nose pliers and put it a little more tight so it can look better and be a little closer together. So I just pinched it in right here, as you can see. And what I'm going to do also is get the 16 gauge again, cut a little more, and some 20 gauge, wrap it around it. And you see me just bringing it around so we can have that overlay of 20 gauge over that 16 gauge. So you're seeing me start that process over again. What I'm going to do with this is actually put this inside the hole as well. Inside the hole, that's what she said. And then once I wrap it around, you're going to see that it has more definition in regards to the crystal. It's going to look good on the bracelet. Basically, anything you do now is completely up to you. For me, this was a freestyle. So I'm just adding extra little razzle dazzle just so it can look a lot more defined and stand out more. These are statement bracelets. They are wire wrap statement bracelets, and they're going to have some conversation starters, just a whole lot of definition and stuff. So I'm coming to the end here. What you see me doing now is using the pliers to kind of pinch the end part of it. And I'm using my hand as well to like kind of grip it and hold it tight, because this part does take a long time, but I sped it up for y'all convenience. So this video won't be super, super long. Take the pliers, you pinch the end pieces of it, and now you have come to the end of that aspect. And what we're going to do, as I explained previously, is take the end part that I didn't wrap, put that through the hole, leave a little bit out so you can make a swirl with that end piece there that you see hanging. And I just take my hand and I wrap it around. And you can see where I put the 20 gauge around that. And I'm just bringing it around. And I'm going to just use my hand and my pliers to make like a swirl. And I think adding a swirl makes it even more cute. We love the swirl. Shout out to the swirlers. So we're going to add that swirl with the round nose pliers. And just take your round nose pliers, and you grip it up. And you basically flick your wrists. Look at the flick of the wrist. And you kind of turn it up a little bit into like this swirl circular motion. And you're going to lay that on top of the crystal. In this case, you have a clear quartz, of course. So you're going to do that same thing with the other excess piece as well. You want to grip that around, because what you don't want is the ends of it coming out of the hole of the crystal. So that's what it looks like currently. And I did the same thing, added a swirl. Didn't necessarily show it, but you'll see it once I finish the bracelet and twirl it around. So the end pieces are pretty loose at the moment, but you can see that it's starting to do a little something. It's starting to get a little definition. It's starting to get a little bracelet look. So you see how that look? It kind of reminds me a little bit of a rose. If y'all have a name for this, y'all give me some comments and ideas of what I should name it below, as I'm currently creating my website. And I'm going to finish this out with the copper one. I didn't do the silver because this video would have been way too long, but it's basically the same concept. I took some 16 gauge and I wrapped it around the base, which I refer to the base as the two bottom parts that's going to go on your actual wrist that'll be rubbing up against your wrist. So I basically took some 16 gauge, wrapped it around that one, so those two pieces can be close together, and two, to give it some more razzle dazzle. One thing we love around here is the razzle and the dazzle. So it's coming together now. At the end, we're going to swirl that with the round nose pliers, and we're going to put a little extra swirl in there, because we also love the swirl. So you see me here just adding the swirls, and that's basically the end piece, y'all. So I'm bending it in like the bracelet shape, and that's what I'm doing here. So now it's really, really coming together. We're coming towards the end of the bracelet. That's what one side looks like, and we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Grip it with the round nose pliers. Just, bring that swirl in. And here's the thing, this part right here, I didn't like how it was sticking out, so I basically took the flat nose pliers, kind of loosened up the swirl a little bit, and we're going to take it from, like, I would say maybe a 4C, kind of loosen up that curl a little bit. It's still 4C, but a different definition of curl. For my natural hair girlies, y'all get that reference. So basically what we're doing is creating the swirls for the end piece. I, again, like how the swirl looks. It adds more character, if you will, to the bracelet. And see how that looks? Boom. We're going to bring that piece right there, but I ain't like it on that side. I kind of like it in the opposite direction. So what I did was put it on the opposite side, and that's how it looks, guys. So if you watch this video to the end, chances are you just made you a bracelet. Now let me know if you use copper, silver, or gold. This is what it looks like, guys. I use all three of them. and I'm going to show you guys exactly what it looks like. Comment below what you think I should name it, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video as well. I'm going to be having more jewelry, more different pieces, and I make jewelry for men and women, and I customize as well. So if you want something a little bit different, I'm going to also have that. I can do that as well. I can customize for you. But this is clear quartz. If you go to my shorts, you'll see that I have more than just clear quartz. My best friend brought me a whole lot of them. But this is what they look like, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.